I want to thank all of the other folks who've put out videos on changing the transmission fluid on the Honda Ridgeline 6-speed transmission. All of your videos were very helpful to me, but each video had different tips that helped me out, and they weren't all in one video. So I'm going to do my best to take the best parts of those different videos and my own personal experience and make one comprehensive video with everything you need to know. Honda redesigned the Honda Ridgeline in 2017, and the 2017, 2018, and 2019 Ridgelines all share the same 6-speed automatic transmission. Now, not long after Honda released the 2017 model, they realized that the transmission fluid wears out and deteriorates a little quicker than anticipated. And so there's a couple of service bulletins related to this. You can look up numbers 17025 and 17026. Now, I encourage you to go ahead and look up and print out this service bulletin because it details how to change the fluid. Now, they're doing a complete flush where they fill and drain 3 times. I'm just going to replace my fluid. Now, to do that, I'm going to need 4 quarts of the ATF DW1 Honda transmission fluid. I'm actually only going to need 3.3 quarts of that. I've got an 18 millimeter crush washer to replace the one that's on the transmission drain plug. And I've got a Honda transmission filter. Now, Honda doesn't say to change that filter at this point, but I'm going to, again, be proactive and go ahead and take care of that. Now, I'll leave the part numbers in the description down below, but these are the Honda parts we're going to need. So you'll need at least 1 extra long funnel. It's a long way down to the dipstick hole. You'll need some shop towels, of course, and you'll need something to drain the oil into. And I would recommend multiple pairs of disposable gloves if you're going to go that route. Those little clamps on the transmission filter are sharp and you will shred several pairs of gloves. I'm making this part of the video after the fact because there's some tools I ended up using that I didn't expect to use. So this is what I actually ended up using on this project. Okay, a 3/8 inch breaker bar to get the drain plug out, a 3/8 inch torque wrench to put the drain plug back in and tighten it to 36 foot-pounds, a pair of pliers to remove the clamps off of the transmission filter, a 10 millimeter socket to remove the splash guard underneath and also to remove the bolt that holds the transmission filter in place. And a small 1/4 inch drive is much easier to get up in there than a full-size 3/8 inch drive. You'll need a straight slot screwdriver to pry open the little 2-piece plastic clips that hold the belly pan in. But another tool that's very helpful is if you happen to have any of these body panel tools. I started working the clip out with the straight screwdriver until there was enough room to work this in there and then pop the clip out fully. And there's much less chance of breaking a clip if you have one of these. Now there's 2 Phillips screws that hold the belly pan in place, and they're number 2 Phillips, but I could not get them loose with a screwdriver. I ended up having to use a Phillips bit and a socket wrench to break those loops. They were incredibly tight. Another tool that came in handy is a larger body panel tool. When you go to remove the hose from the ends of the transmission filter, they're stuck on there very tight. And this works really well. Just work it up behind the end of the hose and pry to push the hoses off. And so this really made the job a lot easier. I highly recommend that you use one. Anyway, on to the project. There are 8 bolts, 2 screws, and 4 plastic fasteners that need to come out to remove the splash shield. 4 bolts across the front of the splash shield, 2 silver bolts on each side, 2 long black bolts on each side, and 2 Phillips head screws on each side. Okay. There's also 4 plastic clips that need to be removed. 2 in front add two a little further back. You'll see they're a little bit different styles, so be sure you put those back in the same spot. Okay, now here's our transmission drain plug. Now, if you're just going to change the fluid, you don't have to remove the splash guard. You can access this drain plug without removing the splash guard, but since I'm going to replace the filter, I need access to this area here up front where the filter is and this. Before I go any further, I'm going to make sure I can crack this loose, because if I can't get this loose, then I'm just going to take this to my mechanic. I can get it loose. Okay, I ran the engine until the cooling fan kicked in and then shut it off. I'm going to go ahead and remove the drain bolt and let it drain out. Well, while that's draining, let's have a look here at the drain plug. There's a little bit of material here, not too bad. Get that cleaned off. Let's see here what we've got. So you can see there's a little bit of metal shavings in there. That's to be expected. I don't think the amount of metal shavings is there anything to be concerned about. I think that's pretty much normal. Okay, I'm going to let that transmission fluid just continue to dribble out, and while that's going on, I'm going to see if I can go ahead and get this transmission filter replaced. So the filter is right up. Let's see if I can give you a look at it. Here we go. There's our filter right there, and it kind of looks like a fuel filter. You've got a hose coming out the top and bottom. And so what we're going to do is we're going to remove the bottom hose first. There's a single 10mm bolt that holds that bracket in place that secures the filter. We'll take that 10mm bolt out. We'll swing the filter out over the cross member. So we're going to move the filter forward in front of the cross member. We get better access, and we'll remove the top hose and then put the new one in as the same thing in reverse order. All right, let's see if we can get that bottom clamp off first. There we go. Okay, I'm going to try and get you a peek at that filter and the bolt that holds it in. You can reach up there and feel around, and it's pretty easy to tell what's going on just by looking around, but I'm hoping to get you a peek at what's up there. But we're going to pull that 10mm bolt out, and that'll let us pull the filter down and work on it a little better. Okay, the transmission's just about done draining, so I'm going to go ahead and put the drain plug back in and get that tightened up. And so I'm going to wipe the surface off here, make sure we get a good seal. I got a brand new crush washer on the bolt, and I'll clean the magnet off good. So we're going to go ahead and put that drain plug back in there. There we go. And we're supposed to tighten that up to 36 pound-feet. Move this light out of the way. Okay. Got that done. Let's move on to changing that filter. I'll try and get you a view. It's pretty tight up here. They did not make that bolt easy to get to. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get this filter out of here. Transfer the hose to the new filter. Scoot that on up. Break it free. I found this little body tool. Comes in real handy for getting the hose off. And there we go. Now, when you put your new filter in, make sure you put it in the same direction with the ridge at the bottom. I'm happy to say putting the new one in is way easier than taking the old one out. I'm going to get a little engine degreaser and clean up that extra transmission fluid and then put this right back in. Okay, I put the longest funnel I have down inside the dipstick tube, and I'm just going to double up and put another funnel here. And I'm going to start very, very slowly pouring in the transmission fluid. Now there is a fill plug, but it is buried. You've got to remove so many things to get to it. This is just an easier way to do things. The dealer doesn't like doing it this way because it takes too long. But if you're patient, this works just fine. Honda has a very specific procedure for checking the transmission fluid. Okay, I want to show you the location of the dipstick and also point out that there's a small notch on the dipstick that needs to be lined up correctly to get an accurate transmission fluid level reading. Now, if you look to the left of the dipstick, you'll see a little notch in the rubber cap, and you'll see where the tab sticks up from the tube into that notch. It's very important that you line those up or you will not get an accurate reading of your fluid level. So another thing I want to mention to you is when you put the dipstick in, don't be alarmed if you see a lot of fluid on the back side of the dipstick. This is normal. Don't pay any attention to this side. Like I say, line up the tab, insert it fully, and check the front side. This is your correct amount that you need to be concerned about, is what shows on the side where it says hot. Don't worry about all the fluid that you're going to see on the back side. That doesn't matter. Once again, here are the instructions for checking the transmission fluid level on the 2017, 2018, and 2019 Honda Ridgeline. Please follow these instructions in order to get an accurate reading. I hope you found this helpful. Please like and subscribe if you did. Thank you.